Arguably, one of the best things you could ever do for yourself is to download your banking app on your phone and check your accounts on a daily basis. And not every other day, not every 2 weeks, not once a week, but every single day. Just get into the habit of checking your account like you check your email, like you check social media. And you'll find that there's some purchases in there that, you know, could be cut away in order for you to start saving more money and putting that money towards a program that can help you make more money, or just to save it in your bank account to keep you, build your emergency fund. And today we're going to be getting into some financial minimalism hacks and things that you may want to cut away from your own personal life as well. It's another millionaire to be, because I'm a millionaire to be. I'm speaking it into existence. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into it. 8 things I don't buy or own as a minimalist, courtesy of Ronald L. Banks. No long talk. Let's get right into it. Subscribe. It's free. It's all free. And yeah.
So lately, on this journey that I've been traveling, I've been decluttering the physical space around me. And as a result, there are things that I no longer own, but there are also things that I no longer buy as a minimalist. And in this video, I want to share 8 of those things with you. And the first thing that I no longer buy as a minimalist is cable TV. I just don't see the point in watching TV. I haven't watched cable TV in years, quite honestly.
Cable TV nowadays is like the radio. I don't even listen to the radio. I just, cause it's one thing to listen to like a news channel to like get up to date on the news, but like the radio be playing these songs I don't even like, So I just download the songs on my Apple Music, $5 because I'm on the student plan, even though I'm not quote unquote in school right now. Don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. I'm on a student plan, the $5 student plan, and yeah. What subscription service do you have, I guess in general, that you don't really need? My family, almost everybody in my family has a cell phone, so we cut away the home phone plan. Now we just have cell phones. You cut away cable TV. You just stream everything on your phone, or you share it to the main TV. Simple. Like the subscription services, although they are usually not that much, the fact that they are recurring, it's just something to think about in terms of like expenses that are leaving your bank account on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't plan on watching it anytime soon. Now, the second thing that I no longer buy are souvenirs. And for my day job, I travel from time to time, and I go to different cities across the United States. And I used to buy t-shirts that would have the city and state on there, or a magnet with the city and state on there, as a memory, things that I would collect just so I know where I've been. And lately, I just no longer do that. So all of those items that I had have been donated, and now I just simply take a photo of the places that I've been. I feel as though that generates or triggers more of a memory than that t-shirt that I know I'm never gonna wear. Now the third...
those t-shirts that you just have too many at one point I worked with like I was working in the intramural department at my university, and at one point I had 5 or 6 of the same t-shirts. I'm like, and they just take up space, right? Needless space in your closet. Like one day you're on Saturday or Sunday on one of your lazy days, just take inventory of all the stuff you have in your closet, in your wardrobe, and like donate that shit, throw it away, because you probably don't need it. My dad always, because most of the time my parents always buy me like clothes for like as gifts, right? Christmas, birthday, stuff like that. And he always wonders like why I don't wear the clothes that he buys. I'm like, because I am a simple man. I am a very simple man. Wear a couple sets of clothes here and there, and I'm good to go. I don't need all the extra like fancy, showy stuff, right?
Third thing that I no longer buy as a minimalist, or I no longer buy into, are trendy clothing items. And as you can see lately, you might have noticed my wardrobe has been simplified. I have basic t-shirts, my same Adidas hat on, and the rest of my wardrobe follows suit. And the reason I've changed my wardrobe, or I let go of those trendy clothing items, is keeping up to the trends, I feel, is more of a hassle than wearing something that is basic or simplified or minimal. And I wasted a lot of money trying to keep up with those trends, trying to stay relevant. And I just don't see the point in that. It's just, I no longer get value from a branded t-shirt or a branded whatever. So I just no longer buy into those trendy items. Now, the fourth thing that I no longer buy into or I no longer buy are unnecessary shoes. You may have noticed I've shared clips of me decluttering my closet before. I've had tons and tons of tons.
Yo, for all my sneakerheads, you know, all my sneakerheads out there, I don't want to bash y'all. Like, y'all do you. We all have our own, like, indulgence. But, like, how many pairs of shoes do you really need? I'm just saying, like, you only have 2 feet. How often are you going to be, like, wearing these sets of pairs of shoes? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, having a shoe collection of, what, 30 plus shoes is, like, you know? Like, I just have, okay, for me, I just have a formal shoe, casual shoe, slippers, and then boots. I have, like, what, 4 pairs of shoes. That's it, man. Like, yo, consumerism really is a mofo. It really is a mofo. Like, you always think we need more than we actually do, you know? And it's important that, you know, you get into a relationship with anybody that they're not too far away from your own ideologies about, like, spending and saving and stuff like that. That's why people get lost in the sauce, right? You just, within 2-3 months, you're already together. Within a year, you're married. Like, yo, chill. Can this person be consistent for 6 months to a year? Can this person be consistent for 3 years plus before you even get married? From the pond or pond. My sneakerheads, yeah, I'll do you, but I'm just saying, you only have 2 feet.
I've had tons and tons of shoes, and I still have too many, I will admit. But like I said, I'm working on this minimalist journey and I'm sharing that with you. But I no longer buy random shoes just because. And the reason I know that I'm no longer doing this is, to be quite honest with you, I was going to a baseball game a couple weeks ago, and I was thinking about what I wanted to wear to the game. And I was this close to going to the store just to buy some white Converse just to wear to the game. And I stopped myself for obvious reasons. One, I don't need them. And two, it would have been a waste of money. So I don't buy unnecessary, and I don't own unnecessary shoes. The things I do own are shoes that I wear and shoes that I value. Now, the fifth thing that I no longer buy as a minimalist are unnecessary decor items for my apartment. You may have noticed in some of my old poetry videos or my old videos with this similar format that I used to have things on the wall and things behind me on this wall. And clearly they're no longer there. I've donated a lot of those items, or I've thrown a lot of those items away that I felt weren't donatable. But I really just wanted to clean the space around me. Again, it goes back to decluttering the physical space that I have. And
if you do want to use, like, it's the one decor, I would say, like, get functional decor items, you know, like, I don't know, something that adds, like, brightness to the room or color to the room, but something that you can actually use. Like, even the wall decor, it doesn't take up space, right? It's just on the wall. Like, it's gonna be there. The wall is gonna be there regardless. But, like, I don't know, instead of having just like a bobblehead there, maybe have a stapler that you actually use. Have a pen and shoe rack just things that are functional, that don't just stay there, you know what I'm saying? Like, things that you can use on a daily basis, or things that are not just there for show, essentially.
Things that I own, and a lot of the walls in my apartment now are clean and white and open, and there's nothing hanging on them, and I like it that way. It's a new feeling. It's different for me because I used to decorate a lot of things, and I have these cubes in my living room, right? And I used to have these random picture frames that did not have pictures in them placed in those cubes, and it was decoration to me. But now those cubes are empty and open, and the only things in there are things that I value and things that I actually use. So the sixth thing that I no longer buy are trendy tech items. And don't get me wrong, I do have technology around me, my camera, for instance, my MacBook, my lights, my microphone, things like that that I use for my videos. But I don't buy into the trends of constantly having to have the new item. I don't have.
Yo, arguably, my setup is the most minimalistic approach ever, okay? Let me put y'all up on some game real quick, okay? Look, straight up. Tripod. Simple, tripod. Natural light. Ring light if need be. Hold up. Ring light if need be. And that's good, bro. Talking about like a whole ass video setup, and nah. You can start a YouTube channel and start making YouTube videos just like this. Straight up, no capping. Okay? But let's commence.
I have an Apple Watch, and honestly, I still have the iPhone 6S. I just don't see a need really for updating year after year after year for the subtlety changes that Apple makes. I'm doing just fine with this one. So the seventh thing that I don't buy or I don't own are video games. I stopped playing video games, honestly, in high school, which was years ago. And it's never been something that I really enjoyed like that. I never was the one to sit and play video games for hours on end and hours on end. So I don't own video games. I do have an Xbox, but I only use the Xbox for videos and Netflix. I don't play games, and honestly, I am planning to donate the Xbox and get like a Roku or something simpler that just has the things that I value, Netflix, and that's really it. So the eighth and final thing that I don't own as a minimalist are unnecessary credit cards. I have one credit card in my entire wallet, and I've barely used that as it is. I've always been the person that if I didn't have the money, I wasn't going to buy it. I'm a cash transactional kind of guy. Direct trade for things. I don't want to owe anybody any money, especially with interest in all kinds of debt. It's just not something that I'm comfortable with doing and not something that I want to do, so I just don't.
Facts, bro. People that have like 2, 3, even more credit cards, I can never understand how you keep track of that shit. And yeah, the cashback and the travel points are all good and all, but like, yeah. The best approach to never ever get yourself into credit card debt or to really use it, to use a credit card properly, is to always pay it in full. At least I did before, paid in full. Don't use more than 30% of the credit card limit. So if it's $1,000 limit, don't ever use more than $300. You always, at least you have the money for it. And before you even like start using your credit card, just have an emergency fund in place so that in case an emergency comes, you use your emergency fund rather than putting it on credit. Because if it's an emergency, more than likely you don't have the money, for it already. So instead of putting it on your credit card, which you could potentially not be able to pay back, have an emergency fund of at least $1,000 saved up already, right? So hopefully that gave you some ideas, some things to think about with regards to your spending and taking a more minimalistic approach to your personal finance. But yo, God bless, much love, peace and joy, namaste. Always remember, if it doesn't feed you, don't water it. And too much of any good thing is good for nothing. Alright, fam. Deuces.
I know you still looking at your life and you didn't think it end like this. I know you stay awake trying to make the mistakes that you made feel right.